Everybody, it's Matt Hillier here at the Cadillac Barn with my good buddy Jim Heath, aka the Reverend Horton Heat, and we're talking guitars right now. And this is a guitar that I've always wanted. Maybe someday I will have one of these 6120 Reverend Horton Heat signature issues. And I don't know, just tell us about it. You know, when it came to be and what it is and all that good stuff.
Well, see, you have a Black Falcon. Well, what had happened is my main guitar was a Gibson ES-175D. We were touring 250 shows a year. Mm-hmm. And we were out on tour, on one particular tour, and that guitar every night was like cutting out. It was like I'd have to stop and bang it. And so I would fix it every night. And I got it working. And it'd work in sound check, then halfway through the gig. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh man, I can't do the whole tour. We had 2 months left on this tour, and I went into the Chicago Guitar Center, and I didn't even know that Gretsch was back reissuing guitars, and they had a reissue 6120W that was kind of similar to this. It had the Western things, and it had the G brand, although the G brand on that one was just painted on.
Yeah.
You know, but I got it, and it did the jazz thing a little bit. It had the same feel because of the thickness of the body in the Bigsby, same kind of area, but then when I hit the treble pickup, it had a more spanky tone like a Telecaster. Mm-hmm. So for the jazz sound, that's DS-175D is hard to beat. I mean,
especially it's got
if I could play like Wes Montgomery, it would sound just like Wes Montgomery.
Oh, and with those P90s.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And it buzzes a lot and everything. And this has that one, the first one I got. So anyway, long story short, I got it and it worked out great. I used it on albums, our first albums. I used it on for years and years. And then finally I was thinking, I'm going to get a White Falcon. So I switched to a White Falcon. So that was my main guitar for about 2 years, but a live video that we had done came out, or started getting circulated, and it was one where I played the 6120W, and Gretsch called me up, and Gretsch said, we want to do a Reverend Horton Heat model. Mm-hmm. Just like that, or similar to that one. So I was like, well, I'm kind of playing the White Falcon now. But they didn't. They wanted it, so I said, "Okay, I'll go switch it back.
Right.
I'll switch back. So
sure.
Make it. All right, make it." So they made it, and it's got a nice nitrocellulose finish, which is that's pretty fancy. And the G brand is like the old ones, where it's actually burned into the wood. Here, I'll show the G brand is burned into the wood, and then it's got a little bit fancier thing here that, in all honesty, I don't really use. I just use and then it's got locking tuners, because when you change strings with a Bigsby system, you gotta like hold this with this hand, almost like you have to hold this with 2 hands, and then you wish you had a third hand to turn to hold it. So you're holding this here, and then it pops out of there.
Right.
So it made it easier for my guitar techs, because a lot of times my guitar techs have to change strings for me now. Yeah. And so having locking tuners makes it real easy. You lock it in there, and it's a lot easier. And then
is this the clear pick guard? Is that a stock feature, or does it come?
That I wanted a clear pick guard, because what I had done to my old guitar is I had used paint thinner or something, or maybe just scraped off the back of the gold, and then spray painted it from the back, so it looks all shiny from the front, and it's blue, or something. Blue,
yeah.
You know? So I was thinking it'd be kind of cool, kind of like Eddie Cochran had that.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
He did. Eddie Cochran had that. So I was like, do that. And then I didn't really want the gold plated look. I wanted more of a silver nickel plated look. Yeah. So it's more nickel plated looking. And it's got these fun little things here.
All the Western inlay and stuff,
Right, and then this guitar, so now I go between 2 guitars. This one I use a lot in the studio. It's got flat wound strings, and they stay in tune really well. And I mean, the one thing about these old designs, this is a new guitar, but it's still an old design.
Yeah.
The Bigsby and everything is that back then they used heavier strings. They didn't use light strings.
Yeah.
So this one has the heavier strings, and it's got flat wounds. A lot of guys used flat wound strings back then too.
Yeah.
So it gets a little bit more of a vintage type thing. And but this one is one of the early ones. This one is I don't know if you could call it a prototype.
Yeah.
But kind of, because it's got a thicker trestle bracing in here.
Yeah.
And it's wider. And it's really weird because they called me up and they did that. They call me and they go, Jim, the trestle bracing puts the guitar at a price point that we're afraid we won't be able to sell them. You know, so at the end of the day, I had some say on how it looks a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I had to just kind of say, okay, whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah. Well, you know what's cool is you mentioned the nice nitrocellulose finish, and you can't probably see it on the cameras or whatever, but like even just looking at it this way, those nitrocellulose finishes are cool because they tend to break down the way the old finishes
so
break
you can
down.
tell
so you
this
can sort of see where it's
getting
starting
cracked
to crack a little bit in there, which is to me that's the cool thing. You know what I mean? Well, that's awesome, man. Thanks for showing it to us.
Well,
because
the other guitar that really is my main guitar live has 10s through 48s or 10, I think 10 through 48, but it has the smaller trestle bracing. Mm-hmm. And I actually like that one. That's basically my main guitar.
Yeah.
So that has the trestle bracing that's more like you would buy off if you bought it new now.
Yeah.
You know? So, but
well, it sure is a cool guitar, man. I love this stuff. One of these days, I'm gonna.
Well, it's funny is because I never realized that now I'm a Gretsch salesman.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I mean, I don't mind. They've been great to me. They make great guitars, and so I try to help them out the most I can. It's a great brand.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah. I love it. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Tell your friends, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.